Months, President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu meet in person at the White House.
And gas prices across the state begin to fall. What this could mean for Ohio drivers. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Jenna Bolton.
And I'm Thomas Billington. Welcome to Newswatch.
Here in Southeast Ohio, it's been pretty windy.
Here to tell us more is weather forecaster Calvin Stebbins.
Yeah, guys, so we're still seeing that system that brought some showers and even a few rumbles of thunder from this morning continuing to get pushed off to the East Atlantic coast as a region of high pressure starting to form along the Great Lakes region. Now, with this region of high pressure, we're going to see a quieter stretch of weather within the next couple of days, but I'll break that down a little bit in my full weather. Just taking a look across the region, though, just south of I-70, 81 in Zanesville and 81 in Lancaster, then through the Ohio River Valley, 85 in Huntington and 81 in Parkersburg. Currently in Athens, though, we're sitting at around 83 degrees with clear skies, and we're continuing to see those winds starting to die down as we head into these overnight hours, where we'll be sitting at an overnight low at around 62 with mostly clear skies. Then jumping in through tomorrow, we'll see that wind return, but we'll see mostly sunny skies. We'll see that high of 80, the overnight low of 57. Then for the next 3 days, we're going to continue to see our highs in the lower 80s with a lot of sunshine sticking around.
Thank you, Calvin. We have an update on the child endangerment case out of Vinton County. The attorney for Christina Siders is now requesting a competency evaluation to determine if she is fit to stand trial. She is now the third family member to request an evaluation. Her request for a competency evaluation comes a few days after a similar request was made by her son, Gary Jr. Her husband, Gary Sr., also has requested a competency evaluation and is currently undergoing mental health screenings. A man is in custody after a shooting in Lancaster left one person hospitalized. Fairfield County Police were dispatched to the scene late Saturday night, where they found an adult man identified as Jack Mowry Jr. suffering from a gunshot wound. Mowry was transported to a Columbus Medical Center, where he is currently receiving care. After a preliminary investigation, police identified a suspect, Christopher Adams, and took him into custody. Adams is currently being held in the Fairfield County Jail as the investigation into the matter continues.
Police departments across the region are sounding the alarm about the recent influx of scam callers claiming to be law enforcement. The callers often say they have warrants for their arrest in an attempt to solicit money and personal identification. The Hocking County Sheriff's Office is reminding people that real law enforcement would never call to ask for monetary donations or to inform someone that they have a warrant. They also said you should never send a copy of your driver's license, social security card, and credit card or debit card information via fax, email, or text.
President Donald Trump is holding meetings with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House today, with two separate wars top of mind.
Maddie Gannon has the latest from the White House.
It's not often we have two different world leaders at the White House on the same day for separate meetings with the president, but that's exactly what we saw take place here Tuesday. President Trump hosted both Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as well as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. These meetings took place ahead of funeral services for former Republican Senator Lindsey Graham in Washington. Now, both of these meetings stayed behind closed doors, but we did hear from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt afterwards, who called them both positive and productive in a post on X. And we know that the war in Iran, as well as the war between Russia and Ukraine, were expected to be discussed. When it comes to the war in Iran, a major question hanging over this meeting between Trump and Netanyahu is just how aligned are these two leaders when it comes to the war in Iran right now. Trump yesterday acknowledged that there is a little difference between them, although he said overall they are pretty closely aligned. And then for Zelensky, it was just a few weeks ago that he and Trump sat down together on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Turkey. There, Trump announced the U.S. would be looking into allowing Ukraine to produce its own Patriot air defense system, something Ukraine has long said it's needed. In a post on X after the meeting, Zelensky confirmed that the two did discuss Patriots. He also said they talked about diplomacy, and overall he said the meeting was good. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
Oil prices are showing overall declines amid signs the U.S. and Iran could restart ceasefire talks. The U.S. benchmark is fluctuating around $80 a barrel today after topping $90 earlier this month. Brent crude is roughly in the mid-80s, down from a recent peak above $100 a barrel. AAA says regular gas is about a cent cheaper a gallon compared to yesterday, but diesel is averaging $5.32. That could be bad news for inflation since semi-trucks have that fuel to haul goods across the U.S. The U.S. and Iran appear to be pausing strikes for now, but the situation remains precarious. Traffic in the Strait of Hormuz is a trickle, and Iran-backed Houthi rebels are threatening an alternate oil route through the Red Sea.
Here in the Buckeye State, gas prices are beginning to fall. Today, the statewide average price per gallon is currently sitting at $3.86. That's an actual 2-cent decrease from yesterday's state average. And here in Athens, things are beginning to fall, as the current cost for a gallon of gas is actually 1 cent lower than yesterday, hovering at $3.95, just 5 cents under that $4 mark.
If you're in the market for a new car, be prepared for some sticker shock. And unfortunately, the used car market isn't much better.
In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at what's driving up those costs and how you can find a better deal.
The sticker price for new cars has hit near record highs. Last month, buyers paid an average of just under $49,000 for a new vehicle, according to Edmunds transaction data. The average transaction price for a 3-year-old used car was over $32,000.
We've seen dramatic increases when it comes to price of vehicles, both new and used.
Ivan Drury with Edmunds says one of the reasons cars are more expensive is all that high technology that is now featured in cars.
It could be everything from the powertrain to the infotainment system, safety features. There can be a lot of change from one year to the next.
Drury says the car industry is still recovering from pandemic supply chain issues when there was a very high demand for cars and not enough supply.
We had that component. But things never really go down.
Because of the high costs, Edmunds found more people are putting less money down and taking out longer loans to purchase a car. In some cases, financing for 84 months. Interest rates on car loans can vary drastically depending on your credit score. If you have good credit, you can pay around 4.55% for a new car. But if you have poor credit, you can be hit with an average interest rate of 16%, according to Experian.
If you're not super picky, you'll find 25 to 30% of the vehicles on the lot in January will be from the prior model year, brand new.
Drury says while buyers have less wiggle room to negotiate the price these days, you can negotiate things like the extended warranty. He also suggests shopping around to compare prices. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up, a string of severe weather events terrorize the Midwest. What this could mean for you.
And consumer confidence drops nationwide. What this can mean for the future of the economy.
Sunshine and highs in the lower 80s. Stay tuned for the full breakdown.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
I've spent so long trying to prove myself. Show Geordie I've got what it takes.
Geordie taught you everything. You know exactly what to do.
Dexter Sutton, where is he?
You were never with me. I was always alone.
I tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop.
Please move!
The final episode of Grantchester on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
Make way for the Queen. The people love me. This is not a request.
Yes, Your Majesty.
This is Canvas, your regional events calendar. Discover more events at woub.org/culture.
I think about what if I took a right turn instead of a left turn. I think I would have missed a lot.
You're getting into heavy stuff now.
Yesterday was a devastating day of severe weather in parts of the Midwest. A massive tornado struck in Wisconsin, leaving destruction in its path.
Severe thunderstorms with damaging wind hit another part of the region as well. Reed Binion reports.
The house started shaking and I was like, oh, this is really serious. So yeah, I broke down because, I was just alone.
A Wisconsin resident recounting the terrifying moments a tornado ripped through her town on Monday.
I know I had to get in the basement, but I was hiding in a small room where we put our shoes. That's when I started praying, and I'm glad God heard my prayer to protect my mom.
The devastating twister ripped through parts of Menasha and Appleton, Wisconsin, damaging homes, uprooting trees, and knocking out power for thousands of customers. In the aftermath, communities are pulling together.
The neighbors are really good about everything. It's a nice cohesive group. Here, people stepped in to do what they could do.
Neighbors helping neighbors, working together as their communities recover.
We had a tornado. That's not important. This stuff right here, all these people coming together, that's what's important.
Severe weather hit other parts of the Midwest too, including Illinois. In Chicago, heavy rain caused flooding. Video showed cars stuck in high water, drivers forced to leave their vehicles behind.
The water just started rising all of a sudden, and there was no going back because there was a lot of cars behind me.
The first round of storms in Chicago hit so suddenly that 2 contractors got trapped in a storm sewer. As of Monday night, crews had managed to rescue one of the workers. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Well, like you said earlier, Calvin, it has been pretty windy here in Athens. Is that an effect of the severe weather that was in the Midwest?
Yeah, and is that severe weather going to be something we see down here in Southeast Ohio?
Guys, we definitely lucked out last night. We saw that system push just a little bit more on the western side of the state and then even push through Kentucky. But within the next couple of days, we're going to continue to see a lot of sunshine, and we're going to see our highs within the lower 80s. We're going to continue to see that next system starting to push in by the end of the work week into early next week. So just taking a look at our surface analysis map just around the country, over the past 24 hours, we saw a warm sector and a low pressure system move across the Ohio Valley. And as early as this morning, we saw some heavier downpours and a few rumbles of thunder, which wasn't that great of an alarm clock, especially at around 6. Now, within the next couple of days, we're going to start to see some high pressure starting to form in the Midwest, and that's going to stretch through the Great Lakes region and down into the Ohio Valley, which is going to bring for a lot of sunshine. We're going to see our highs within the lower 80s, and it's just going to be a very beautiful and quiet stretch of weather upcoming throughout the rest of the week. Now, we did see a few lingering showers leave the region in the early morning hours, and then after that we saw a lot of clouds sticking around for a majority of our afternoon. But the more we start to head into our early evening, into our later evening hours, we're going to continue to see those clouds starting to break down and dissipate as they continue to travel off to the southeast as they follow that low pressure. Now, we did have a very windy day here and across the southern part of the state. Places saw anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. As we start to head in through our overnight hours, though, we're going to continue to see those winds starting to weaken out. Tomorrow is going to be a very beautiful day. We're going to see our highs in the upper 70s and more than likely cross into the 80s in some regions, but we're going to see a lot of sunshine, and we're going to see those dew points starting to drop, which is going to drop all of that humidity. And then heading in through the rest of the work week into the early weekend, we're going to continue to see a lot of sunshine. Our highs in the lower 80s, and that humidity not being into effect, it will be very comfortable out there. Currently in Athens, though, we're sitting at around 83 degrees with clear skies. We're still seeing those winds dying down, sitting at around 7 miles per hour. That dew point sitting at 72 is expected to drop in through tonight, where we'll see the overnight low sitting at around 62 with mostly clear skies. Then heading in through tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 80 with an overnight low of 57. Now, within the next 12 to 24 hours, we're going to see a little bit of a cold front starting to push through the Ohio Valley as a strong region of high pressure is starting to form along the Great Lakes region. And we're going to continue to see that high pressure pretty much sitting stationary at least through Thursday, which is going to continue to add to that quiet stretch of weather that we're going to see at least through the end of the work week, where we'll continue to see a lot of sunshine and our highs in the lower 80s. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, though, Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high of 80 with the overnight low of 57. Thursday, sunny, high of 82 with the overnight low of 59. Then heading in through Friday, we're going to start to see a little bit of a warming trend as we head in through the weekend and into early next week. Now, Friday, Saturday, we're going to start to see some clouds starting to form as that next system quickly approaches us by Sunday, and into early next week as that chance of rain will be returning.
Thank you, Calvin. Consumer confidence dropped slightly in July. a sign that Americans are feeling a bit more pessimistic about the economy and labor market. The latest data from the Conference Board shows a drop of 1.4 points to 90.8. Consumers surveyed mainly reference rising food and grocery prices. Comments about oil and gas costs eased slightly from the previous month. Concerns about jobs and unemployment increased.
BuzzFeed is cutting a third of its workforce. The layoffs come on the heels of the digital company's takeover by Allen Media. About 180 jobs will be eliminated out of 500, including parts of its HuffPost and Tasty brands. BuzzFeed says the move will save the company about $30 million annually. In May, BuzzFeed sold a 51% stake to entrepreneur and comedian Byron Allen for $120 million. Allen says he has plans to use the company to build a free streaming platform that will rival YouTube.
Concerns over the safety of AI have grown along with its ever-expanding presence in modern society, leading a coalition of big tech companies to take a proactive approach, an alliance aimed at improving open-source AI safety and cybersecurity.
CNN AI correspondent Hadis Gold has more.
This new open secure AI alliance that is being launched by NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is in direct response to the recent incident where an OpenAI test model broke out of its testing environment, broke out of its lab, and went on to hack a completely different company's systems. That company, Hugging Face, ended up having to turn to an open source model out of China to help diagnose the hack and help defend itself, because it said that it ran into problems trying to use frontier AI models. It didn't name them, but that would be closed models like from OpenAI or Anthropic because of its own guardrails. And the difference between open source and closed source is closed source models, those are the ones from places like OpenAI and Anthropic where they control the entire recipe. You might be able to make some small modifications to it, but you get what you get from the companies. An open source AI model is the kind where there's a lot more customization available to its users and to the companies. They can go in, tinker with the weights, and really change how the AI functions. There is a huge debate now in the industry between open source and closed source, what is safe, what is useful for people, and a lot of the models coming out of China are open source. So when Hugging Face was hacked by this OpenAI test model, they ended up using an open source model from China to help diagnose and fix it. And there is a concern amongst proponents of open source models is that there is going to be sort of a shutdown of these models, that the Trump administration doesn't want to have Chinese open source AI models in the United States and will somehow move to shut them down. And so Jensen Huang says that he is launching this open secure AI alliance to develop new techniques and tools to help safeguard software and agents, because there's a lot of concerns that open source models are not as safe as closed source models. And he says that they're going to be sharing models and making research and tools in the open, so he says they can broaden the community of defenders. As these agentic AI models get better and better, we're going to see more and more of these incidences of hackings and the like. And so this alliance is being created to help give people more options to protect themselves. Hadas Gold, CNN, Washington, D.C.
Next, Dr. Anthony Fauci testifies before the Senate.
Make sure to stay up to date on all the latest news from Southeast Ohio by following WOUB on all social media platforms.
On Breakthrough, the robot is mankind's most advanced creation. But how we got here is a story of amazing innovations.
A programmable machine over 1,000 years before modern computers.
And unlikely surprises.
The next step was inspired by the world of biology.
Explore the unbelievable revolutions.
This was really the dawn of modern technology
that have led to mankind's most intelligent machine.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
On American Experience.
There's always a possibility that you can have a catastrophic failure, of course.
They died at T-minus 10 minutes, helplessly trapped inside their spacecraft.
The fire shattered my wife's confidence in NASA and in the Apollo program.
We were fixing arrows very close to flight time. My feeling was they were flying with baling wire and rubber bands.
The continuation of Chasing the Moon on American Experience.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
The investigation into the largest cyclosporiasis outbreak in the U.S. continues. Experts say outbreaks like this one can have major mental health consequences.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the difference between food caution and food phobia and the ways you can take reasonable precautions without letting food anxiety rule your life.
Each week in the U.S., the CDC says it can coordinate up to 36 investigations into foodborne illnesses involving multiple states, whether it's due to germs like E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria, or a 9-state outbreak of explosive diarrhea from the cyclospora parasite.
It sets off an alarm system in the brain.
Clinical psychologist Susan Albers with Cleveland Clinic says taking recommended precautions like washing food, avoiding specific produce of concern, and staying updated on credible recall information are all healthy reactions that match the risk.
Food phobia or extreme anxiety goes beyond the normal level of concern or caution. It begins to take control of your life.
Albert says examples of this include avoiding restaurants, food preparation, or grocery shopping, having extreme intrusive thoughts, repeatedly and excessively checking for recalled foods, feeling anxious every time you eat, or throwing away food that's not related to the danger.
Focus on the facts, not the fears. Check in with credible sites. Avoid doom scrolling.
Albert says people who already have health anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, and those with disordered eating or an eating disorder may be more vulnerable to food phobias around these outbreaks.
If you notice that your behavior is changing to the point it is affecting your health, your emotions, your relationship, this is a time to check in with a therapist.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Free healthcare services will be available in Athens County this weekend. Ohio National Guard medical personnel will be offering a wide variety of services such as optometry, dentistry, and women's health screenings. There's no income or insurance requirement. You just have to show up. The services are first come, first serve, so be prepared to spend at least a few hours to be treated. The event will take place at Ohio University's Heritage Hall on West Union Street. Services will begin Friday and will last until Sunday afternoon. You can visit the Ohio National Guard's website for more information. Dr. Anthony Fauci will testify before the Senate tomorrow. His appearance by subpoena comes amid an ongoing battle with Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee Chair Rand Paul. Senator Paul has long argued that Fauci should take the blame for the COVID pandemic and the nation's response. The now retired 85-year-old Fauci was head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases during the pandemic. Paul has previously tried to prosecute Fauci for his actions to no avail. Fauci's lawyers say the senator's allegations are baseless.
New analysis shows starting mental health therapy through the Veterans Administration can take months to weeks. That's despite the agency's policy that can get vets their first appointment within 20 days. The analysis draws on data from the VA's Access to Care website and looks at more than 800 locations during much of July. It shows roughly 2/3 of the facilities failed to meet the VA's target based on the averages. 22 reports wait 3 or more months. The findings fall in line with the research from our advocacy group, Common Defense and Veterans Voice Foundation.
Johnson & Johnson says it's offering $5.5 billion to settle tens of thousands of lawsuits. The plaintiffs allege its talcum powder-based products cause ovarian cancer. Johnson & Johnson denies that claim and refutes accusations its products contain asbestos. The pharmaceutical giant now relies on cornstarch-based formulas for its baby powder. The company, in a statement, says it hopes the settlement payouts will bring closure to what it calls meritless litigation over a decade-and-a-half time. Still ahead, could Pokemon be inspiring more members of Gen Z to go bird watching? Find out more when we come back.
Insects may be small, but it's a bug-eat-bug world. And insect predators with massive appetites put lions and sharks to shame. Tiny hunters with powerful weapons, some straight out of science fiction. Join the hunt with apex predators of the insect world who shape their ecosystems with every bite.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
One of the powerful realities is we embrace change, but we also have these traditions that never go away.
All of this information I didn't even know existed.
Oh, I get goosebumps.
American music quickly was becoming black music, because that's the roots of rock and roll.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation waging a relentless warfare against crime and criminals.
No place in the history of the earth has remade itself more resiliently than New York.
They came at a time when you can really say a lot of Americans needed them.
We are putting together the pieces to tell the correct story. This is who we are.
There are so many founding fathers and mothers that are being overlooked.
There are 2 hidden doors.
I love a hidden door.
Yes. Do you want to go there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mardi Gras, music, food, but there's much more. After 3 centuries, New Orleans has plenty stories to tell. Join me, John Goodman, as we explore New Orleans, the first 300 years.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
A new study is suggesting that Pokemon could be convincing more Gen Zers to go bird watching. The newly released study looking at 16 to 29-year-olds shows a sharp increase in birding since 2018. A wildlife advisor says diverse bird species can almost feel like Pokemon in the sense that you, quote, gotta catch 'em all. The popular Pokemon Go app invites players to hunt for the fictional creatures in the real world. Of course, bird watchers don't catch anything. However, some birding apps are leaning into the potential connection. One even describes itself as Pokemon Go for birds. And it's been very nice weather we've been having lately.
Yeah, Calvin, is this weather going to continue through the end of the week?
Yeah, so we're going to continue to see highs in the lower 80s with a lot of sunshine, at least through the end of the work week. But by the weekend, we're going to continue to see that chance of rain sticking around. Now, heading in through tonight, we'll see our overnight low at around 62 with mostly clear skies. Jumping in through tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a high of 80 and an overnight low of 57. Then just taking a look at the next 7 days, we're going to continue to see our highs in the lower 80s with a lot of sunshine sticking around by the end of the work week. But then by the start of next week, that chance of showers and thunderstorms will start to return, and we'll start to see a nice gradual warm up by next week.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.